in the comments over here, there's so many people from all different places. It's really amazing. Okay, so welcome to Elementor Free Basics Webinar. My name is Ziv, and I'm a web designer and lead educator at Elementor. And I'm really excited to introduce you to the internet's leading WordPress drag and drop site builder, Elementor. And this webinar is going to give you a basic breakdown of Elementor and show you how to use it to design, build, and publish your own landing pages, just like the one that we're going to be building together. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. There we go. So this is the landing page we're going to be creating today. So what exactly is a landing page and what is its purpose? Okay, so a landing page is a page on your site that visitors arrive on via some kind of advertising, such as a Facebook ad, a Google search, could be a link in an email. And the page is designed with a specific purpose to convert the visitors into leads by taking a specific action, just like you see on our page over here, there's a button. In our example, this is a Merino art gallery, and it has a special winter discount. The purpose of the page, as you can see here, the purpose of the page is to convince the visitors to contact the art gallery and inquire about the prices. So they can call directly over here. They can press, and they'll automatically call. If they press that button in the mobile, they'll automatically trigger the phone app. It will make a call. And Elementor basically is the perfect tool to help you create landing pages. It's an advanced page builder that allows you to build entire websites page by page with your own custom design. And it's a drag and drop builder, meaning that you work directly on the page. You can see the results in real time, exactly the way that your website visitors would see it. And there are many advantages with using Elementor, such as saving a lot of time and development costs, because Elementor allows you to design and implement designs without using code. And it also gives you full design options for page layouts. It has a huge selection of widgets that you can use, ranging from basic, such as text, just like you see over here, image, button, image carousel widgets, which we're going to be using today. And we also have pro widgets such as the call to action, a countdown, and form widgets, and there's a lot more. So also I'd like you to know that you're free to ask any questions in the chat. We're going to be trying to answer them. We're going to be trying to answer all the questions, and I'm going to be pausing every now and then to answer some questions. Okay, so to start working with Elementor, you need to create your first page. So let's just go to our dashboard, okay, and under pages, we'll go ahead and click add new. And I'm going to give it a name, art gallery. And I'll click edit with Elementor. Now to start off with a clean page, you go to the bottom panel and click settings. And under page layout, you choose Elementor canvas. So this is the easiest way to create a full blank page without a header and no footer, exactly what we need for our landing page. So let's just go over the editing area and Elementor and see what we have. So this is the Elementor interface. On the right side is the editing area. This is where you're going to be adding and editing elements that form the layout of your page. And on the left side over here is the panel. Here are creative tools called widgets. And you use these widgets to add elements to the page, like the headings, the paragraphs, images, and videos. And you can always access this area by clicking the widget icon on the top right. And on the top left, we have the hamburger menu. This is where you have more options, like setting default colors and default fonts. So I've gone ahead and set my primary, my secondary, my body text, and accent text to Montserrat. And soon you'll see exactly how this helps speed up my designing process. So I'll go back, and there's other settings over here as well. You can view your page. You can also exit back to your dashboard. And on the bottom, we have the bottom panel here. There are some other features, such as the page settings, where we were before, where we can change the title of the page. Here we have the navigator. Okay, so we're going to get back to the navigator. Right now it's empty because there's no content. We haven't created the page yet. But the navigator will help us get a clear and organized view of our page. Okay, so I'll go ahead and close that. And over here we have the history. You can see views. You can see recent changes, and you can go back to them. And over here is the responsive mode. As you can see, we can make some mobile adjustments for tablet and mobile. And we can preview the page. And lastly, we can publish. And there are some other save options as well, which I'll go over soon. So let's take a close look at how pages are actually built. Okay, so there's two ways you can start. I'll go and start off with the library. Okay, so this is where we can preview Elementor's pre-made blocks and pages, the template kits as well as your own templates. And you can just insert them into your page. So what you can do is you can just preview it. I'll go ahead and preview this. Just make sure that that's what I want, and then I'll go ahead and insert it into the page. As you can see, it's inserted. So let's just check out what we have over here. Okay, so Elementor uses three main building blocks: sections, columns, and widgets. Okay, so sections, they are the largest, and they can be identified by the blue border over here. You can see that's the section. And the widgets, and the column can be identified by the black dashed border. And inside them we have the widgets. Okay, and you can control the section, column, and widgets with their handle over here. You can just simply right-click it, and you can edit. You can duplicate. You can delete. Let's go ahead and duplicate. Now we have two sections. I can delete. I can go to the column. I can duplicate the column. Now I've got two columns with the same content inside. And what you can do as well is you can move sections and columns and widgets. You can move them around by simply dragging and dropping them. Okay, so let's say I want to move this title over here. The blue line indicates where it will be positioned. So I just can do that like that. And if I want to move this text to the other column here, I'll go ahead and do that. And I can delete this, and I can delete this. So I can really play around with it and get the layout that I want. And section, columns, and widgets, they have three tabs on the panel on the left: layout, style, and advanced. So sections and columns, they have layout, style, and advanced. And widgets, they have content, style, and advanced. And soon we'll see exactly how these settings are used to create our landing page. But first, I'll go ahead and delete this section because we're going to be creating our page from scratch. Okay, so another way to add sections is by pressing the plus icon. And then you can simply choose one of the preset structures. So this is 2 columns, this is 3 columns, this is 4 equal columns, this is 2 columns with the smaller column on the left, etc. And afterwards, you can choose it and you can still tweak it to your liking on the go. So let's dive in and start building our page. So I'm going to start with section 1. I'm going to choose 2 columns, okay, and I'm going to control its height. As you can see, this is the section over here with 2 columns, and I'm going to control the height in the layout tab, and I am going to give it a minimum height. Okay, this means that I'm going to set the section to be a minimum height. So no matter the amount of content in it, it will always be at least that height. And I'm not going to go for pixels. I'm going to change the unit. I'm going to change it to VH, okay, which is view height, which is a relative unit. And basically 100 VH means 100% of the viewport's height. And the viewport is the top of the window over here till the bottom. You can see it, the blue line indicating the section. It takes up 100% of the viewport's height. And for example's sake, if I do 50, you can see that it takes up 50% of the viewport's height. Okay, so we're going to be using this during this webinar, and I'm going to go ahead and set it to 100. And in style, I'm going to give it a background color. So I'll go to style, and under background type, I'll set it to classic. As you can see, there are a couple of options. I'm going to go set it to classic, and in the color picker, I'll go and paste my color code, and I want to save this color because I'm going to be reusing it. So I'll press plus. Okay, as you can see, it's added over here, and I can drag them around, replace them, can delete them. So I've got that in my color picker, so that's great. And let's go back to the widgets and drag an image widget. As you can see here, we've got the widgets. I'll drag an image widget into the left column. You can see the blue line indicating where it's going to be positioned. And I'll click here to enter the library, which currently is empty. And I'll go ahead and choose select files. And in my downloads, I have images. And I'll choose this dog photo. Now it's uploading. Okay, done uploading. Insert the media. Okay, great. That's our dog painting over here. And now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be dragging in a heading widget. I got a question. Let's have a look. Casey Otto, is there a way to turn a page you've already built into a template? Not just a section, but the whole page. Is there going to be a replay? It goes so fast. Okay, so yes, you can turn the page into a template. You can change. You can save a section as a template as well. I'll show it to you at the end. It's part of the webinar as well, but definitely yes, you can do that. Okay, so let's move on. Oh, we've got another question. George Madden, do we even need to select a theme if we're using Elementor? Don't see the need. Am I missing something? Can we get a few words on how the theme ties into Elementor page? Okay, right now we're creating a landing page. Okay, so for a landing page, we don't need a header, we don't need a footer, we don't need 404 page, we don't need other theme related stuff. So we're using the Hello theme, the lightweight Elementor Hello theme. Which basically you can create landing pages very, very quickly, and it's a very lightweight theme. And yes, if you're creating a full-fledged website, you need a theme, to be able to access the header and the footer, and to be able to design that as well. So for this webinar, we're focusing specifically on landing page. So I hope that answered your question a little bit. And I'm going to go move on. Let's have a look over here. We'll go ahead and drag in a heading widget. Okay, so the heading widget, drag it into the column on the right. And I'm going to go ahead and change the text over here in content, title. Paste my text, Merino Art Gallery. And I'm going to go to style, and I'll change the text color to white. Okay. And the typography, as you can see, the font family is set to default. Remember the Montserrat that we set for the headings? So it's automatically applied here. So we don't have to set it up all the time, and it will save us a lot of time while we're busy creating the page. So I'm going to change this to 16 pixels, and I'll change the weight to 300, so it's a little bit thin. And I'll change the transform to uppercase. And then I'll go ahead and set the letter spacing to 4, so it's stretched out. Okay, great. Now, what we're going to be doing to speed up the process, I'm just going to go ahead and right-click and duplicate the heading. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and change the text. This is going to be the 40% off. It's going to be the big, bold 40% off text. So I'll go to style, and I'll change the typography. I'll change the size to big, 125 pixels. I'll go ahead and set the weight. I'll give it a bold. It's 800. Weight. I'll play around with the line height a bit. Okay, 0.9. And I'll drag the letter spacing all the way down to -5. Okay, great. Now I'm going to go ahead and drag in a text editor widget. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set this in style. I'm going to give it a white text color. And in typography, I'm going to go to transform, and I'm going to go to capitalize. So now every first letter of the word is going to be capitalized. Okay, great. Now let's move on to our CTA. This is going to be our button, right? This is going to be the call to action. So this button over here, I'll change the text. See the work. So when the user presses on this button, they'll automatically be scrolled down to the second section, which we haven't built yet. The way that we're going to be doing that is I'm going to add a link that's going to set it to scroll automatically to the second section, which I'm going to show you how to do that soon. Let's have a look. I'll change the size to large, so it's a big button. And here I'm going to add an icon. And I'm going to choose in our Font Awesome 5 library, I'm going to be choosing angle down. There we go. So it's going to be indicating the movement down towards the second section. I'm going to position the icon after the text, and I'm going to be adding some spacing. Let's see. 15, that's great. Okay, now let's go to style. And go to typography over here, and I'll change the weight to 700, so it's bold. And I'll choose uppercase, and I'm going to change the background color. I'm going to give it a pink-red background color. So I'll go ahead and choose background color, and I'll paste my color code, and I'm going to save this as well. So now I've got the blue and the pink red saved over here. That's great. And as you can see, the button isn't a full rectangle, so I'm going to be giving the border radius, we'll set it to 0. So now it's a full rectangle. So that's great. Okay, I see that we've got a question over here. News Lab. Is this presentation utilizing the free version or the pro? This is free. This is the free version, not the pro version, the free version. Okay, so let's carry on. Now I want on hover, I want to change some settings as well. On hover, I wanted to add an animation. So I'm going to add an animation. I'm going to add the sync animation. So on hover, it syncs down. Okay, so that's great. Now, as you can see, the text here and the image, it doesn't look all too great. I'm going to create some spacing over here to make it the layout to make it look a little bit better. So I'll enter the column settings. Okay, so I'll press on column, and in advanced over here, I'm going to give it some padding. Okay, so I'll give it 100 pixel padding. So there's 100 pixels on top, there's 100 pixels on the right, there's 100 pixels on the left, there's 100 pixels on the bottom. Positioning the content in the middle of the column, which is really great. That's what I want. And the image over here needs to be aligned as well a little bit. It's at the top of the column here. So I'll go to the left column settings, and in vertical align, I'll choose middle. Okay, so now the image is positioned in relationship to the text over here, so that's great. And that's it for the first section. Now let's see if there are any questions. I'll have a look over here if there are any questions. Richard van Niekerk is from Holland, right? How do you move text around? You can simply drag and drop. Like I showed before, you can drag and drop. The blue line indicates where it will be positioned. Will you be covering A/B split testing? No, I won't. This is going to be focusing on creating the landing page. Adrian, exactly what's the point of paid WordPress themes then? Okay, so I'm not going to delve into that now. I'm going to be focusing on this landing page. But a paid WordPress theme really gives you access to a lot of options to create a full-fledged website themes come in all different types of all different forms and shapes. But maybe we can answer it in the comments by typing. Okay, so let's carry on with the second section. So to speed things up, what I'm going to be doing is I'm simply going to duplicate the first section. I'm going to duplicate, right click, I'm going to duplicate the first section, and now I have two sections, two of the same sections, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the left column to the right column to the left. So now the image is on the right size. And I'm going to enter the section settings. So I'll press here on the handle. And in style, I am going to change the background color to the pink red, which I saved in the color picker over here, automatically, okay? And I'm going to change the text in the first heading. I'm going to change it to the winter collection. So I'll go ahead and enter the first heading, and then I'll change the text. And in the second heading, I'm also going to change the text. So I'll go to the second heading and paste the text over here, which is a little bit too big, as you can see. So I'll just go to style and I'll change the size. In typography, I'll change it to 100 pixels. So now it fits nicely. And I'll go to the button. As you can see, the background color of the button and the background color of the section, they're the same. So it's hard to see the button over here. But let's just change the background color to the blue we saved before. So in style, background color, I'll click on blue. Okay, that's great. And I'm going to change the text. I'm going to change the text to inquire now. So I'll go back to content and I'll paste inquire now. And what I'm going to be doing for the link is when the visitor clicks on the link, I want it to automatically trigger a phone call. Okay, so I'll do that by using a tell scheme. So I'll show you how that looks like in the link. I'll just paste that. That's the number. Okay. And so basically when the user clicks on it, then it will automatically trigger a phone call in a web page and also on a mobile phone. Okay, so I'll change the icon. I'll change it to phone. So I'll just go ahead and choose the phone. Okay, great. So now let's move on to the right column. I'll go ahead and delete the image. And I'm going to be dragging in an image carousel widget. Okay, it's going to be image. I'll just use the search bar, image carousel widget, and I'll drag it into the right column. Okay, and I'll press over here to upload my images. So I'll go to upload files, and I'll just select all of these except for the dog painting. And I'll go ahead and upload them. Okay, that seems to be taking some time. Busy uploading. Maybe we have some questions in the meantime. Let's have a look. Can you change the URL of a landing page to something really easy to find? Yes, you can. You can do that. I'm not going to show you right now. Maybe we can answer that in the text over there. When should I use an intersection versus a regular column layout? Let's have a look. When should I use an intersection versus a regular column layout? So if you'd like to have one section, okay, with, let's say you've got a title on top, and then under that you want to have, on the left side you want an image, and on the right side you want some other text. Okay, so then you would use an intersection to get that done. But there are also other ways to get the same result. You can use inline and some other stuff to build a page the way you'd like. Okay, so our images are uploaded. Okay, great. So let's carry on. So what I'll do is I'll click create a new gallery. Okay, and as you can see over here, we can enter a caption. So these are all of the paintings basically that are on sale. So what I'll do is I'll give them the sale price over here. So I'll just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. You can change the prices, of course. Insert the gallery. On the right bottom, you press insert the gallery. Okay, great. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to set the image size to full. And I'm going to set to show only one slide. And for the navigation arrows, I'm going to set only arrows. And for the link, I'll choose the media file so that when you press on it, will automatically open up the image so you can see the painting, which is great. Let's go back to its settings. Let's have a look. I'll go to style now. And in navigation, I'll set the position of the arrows to be outside the image. And I'll set the size to 20. And I'll change the color to white. So the arrows are white. And I forgot something over here back in content. Remember the captions that we set, the text with the prices. So as you can see over here, the caption over here, we can link them with the text. Okay, so we can set it to title. I'm going to set it to caption. Caption is the text that we put in before. We can also link it to a description, etc. But I'm going to set the caption to caption. And the moment that you do that, in style, there's another drop down called caption. And then you can style it to your liking as well. Okay, so let's style this. I'll set the alignment to left. I'll change the color to white. And in typography, I'll change the size to 20, and I'll set the weight to a thin 100. Okay, that's great. Now let's set the button in the first section to scroll to this section. Okay, so in order to do that, what we need to do is we need to enter this section settings. Okay, and in advanced, okay, we're going to be adding a CSS ID over here. I'm going to call it CWorks. Okay, copy this CSS ID and go to the button settings over here. Okay, and in the link in content, simply paste the CSS ID after the pound key. Okay, the moment you do that, when you click on the button, it will automatically scroll to the second section. Okay, so that's cool. Now let's go to section number 3. I'll scroll down, I'll press plus like before. I'll choose a section with one column, and like before, I'll give it a min height of 100 VH, like before. Okay. And what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to control the content width. Okay, so this is the column over here. This is where we put the content, and I'm going to control the content width. As you can see, it's smaller. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm going to set this content width to 700. Okay, and what I'm going to be doing for this section is I'm going to set a background video. Okay, this is going to be really cool. I'll go to Style, and I'll select Background Type. I'll select Video. And as you can see, there's a video link. We need to put a video link. It could be a YouTube link, a Vimeo link, or a link to a video file that we need to upload to our media library, which I'm going to be doing. What I'll do is I'll use Elementor's Finder. So I'll either press Command or Control E. So I'll go and do that. And I'll type dashboard, okay? And I'll press down Command and press dashboard so it opens up in a new tab. I'll just move that to the left over here, and I'll go to media. Okay, like before, add new, and I'm going to upload the video MP4 file. Okay, I'll just upload that, and I see we got a question over here. Let's see. The images you're using are very big. What is the best size in kilobytes? The smaller is the smaller the better. Let's see. I also want to remind you that the video is going to be available after the live stream, right? So just so you know now, I'm going to mention it afterwards as well. You can re-watch the webinar. You can recreate the page. We'll also send you a link with the material that I use here, the images and the video. So it's available after the live stream. Another question. Is it important to add an inner section to start with? Also, can it be added after? Yes, you can add it after. It really depends on if you're playing around. If you got a wireframe and you need to create it, then you need to think about the best way to create your layout. But yes, it's not about importance. Just there's different ways you can create the same layout. It really depends. But if you realize afterwards, what you can do is you can duplicate your section and you can play around with it and add an inner section, and you have two sections and afterwards delete it. So you can play around and really see what's the best way to create your design. Okay, great. So the video is uploaded. So I'll go ahead and press the video, and over here I'll copy the link. Okay, and I'll go back to my page. I'll close the Finder, and I'll go ahead and paste the video link, and there we go. As you can see, there's a video playing in the background, which is really cool. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be setting a background overlay. Okay, so I'll go to background overlay dropdown. And the blue that we saved before, I'm going to be choosing the background type here, classic, and I'll set the color to the blue that we chose before, which is cool. And I'm going to make it a little bit darker. So in opacity, I'll just choose opacity. I'll set it to 75. And for the blend mode, I'm going to choose multiply. It's a little bit darker, which also looks quite cool. And what I'm going to do now to speed up the process is I'm going to copy this special winter prices, the big bold text. I'm going to press copy and then click paste over here. And I'll change the text. This is going to be the contact us, right? So I'll go ahead and paste this contact us. And then I'll also copy and paste the text editor widget, and in style I'll align it to the center. Next I'll search for and drag in social icons widget, like so. And as you can see, we've got Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I'll go ahead and choose YouTube. Let's have a look. I'll go ahead and change Twitter. I'll change it to Pinterest, just so you can see. You can search for Pinterest, and you can insert that. And I'll change the shape to square. And in style, I won't go for the official color. I want to have a custom color. So I'll choose the pink that we set before. And I'll add some padding. And I'll also add some space between them. And by the way, over here, because this is the contact us section, right? So over here, this is where you'd add your links, your contact, your Facebook page, or your links that you add over here. But another great way to design your contact us section is by using a contact form. And Elementor Pro has a contact form widget that basically lets you visually design your contact forms, so you can work faster and you can design a lot better. Okay, so let's move on. Are there any questions? I'll just check over here. Let's have a look. Sydney, why is Elementor only available for business plan in WordPress? We also have a personal plan. Valley wide. How about adding in an opt-in form? We've got the form widget with a lot of advanced settings over there as well. That's for the Pro. For Elementor Pro, there's a lot of widgets that will basically help you really create highly converting landing pages, which I'll delve into a little bit afterwards as well. Okay, so let's carry on. What I'm going to be doing now is, because we created all of this content, I'm going to be opening up the Navigator, and now it's full of all the stuff that we created, and I'll go and minimize 3 sections, right? So I can press the second section and I'll automatically be taken to the second section. I can click here and I'll see that I've got these 2 columns. These are the 2 columns that we added. So it's very clear to see. I can see the widgets that are in them. And to be even more clear, what I can do is I can rename the sections, okay? So I can call this hero section, and this one I can call the gallery, okay? And the third one, just double click, I can call it contact. And this will really help us work faster and really understand and really create the pages in a more visual way, in a more organized and structured way. So I'll go ahead and close this. And the next part, we're going to be moving on to the responsive mode for mobile and tablet. Because a lot of potential customers, they're going to be viewing this page on their mobile devices. So let's just make some responsive adjustments so that your design also looks good on mobile. So I'm going to be tweaking the first section to show you exactly how that works. So what I'll do first is I'll go to the responsive tablet mode. Okay, and a nice trick, a nice way to organize your layout is by going to the column settings, and we have a column width, okay, in percentage. And I'll go ahead and show you if I change this to 40 and this to 60, it needs to be 100, right, in total. So I'll go to the right column and I'll change this to 60. So I can really control that for the mobile devices. I'll go ahead and delete it. So we won't be using that. And now let's just go to the mobile responsive mode like so. And I'll go to advanced. Hold on. I'm going to go to the section settings. Now, in order to understand what's going on here and to make it clear for myself, what I'll do is I'll just open up the Navigator, okay, and I'll just simply click on the first section. So I'm already automatically in the sections settings, and then I'll click on advanced, and under responsive, okay, there's a couple of things that we can play around with. First of all, what we can do is we can reverse columns. As you can see, the image column is above over here, and the moment that I press reverse columns, the image column is below. Okay, so that's a cool way to play around with that. And visibility, I can also decide to hide this whole section on mobile. So as you can see, it's grayed out, indicating that that it's not visible on mobile. So when I hide the panel, you can see that we straight away see the second section. So that's hidden on mobile. So that's also something that you can use to control what you see on your mobile and desktop and tablet modes. Now what we're going to be doing is I'm going to select the right. Let's have a look. I'm going to select the second column over here, and in advanced I'm going to unlink the padding so I can set individual values. Okay, and I'm going to set 40 pixels on the top, 40 pixels over here. Okay, and I'm going to set 30 pixels on the right. On the bottom, I'm going to set 60 pixels. Okay, I created the space over here. Let me just do that again. On the bottom, create 60 pixels. Okay, and of course on the left, the same as on the right, 30. And you can see that the content is straightened out and looks a lot better already. Now what we're going to be doing is we'll go to the heading widget. And by the way, these settings over here, these are only applied for mobile. Okay, you can see that by the mobile icon over here. So we've got the mobile, tablet, and desktop. These are mobile specific. Okay, the same way we're going to be controlling the heading. Okay, I'm going to change the size. So in typography, as you can see here, there's the mobile icon over here as well. So they'll only be applied for mobile. I'll go ahead and change this to 70, so it's not that big. And so this is basically the page that you see when they land on it, right? So you can't see the button, and the button is very important because it's the call to action, it's the CTA. So in order to make that fit in properly, I've decided to make the image a little bit smaller. So in style, as you can see, we've got the image width, which is also responsive, okay? And I've chosen to set that to 80%, and now the button is visible straight away. And what I'll do is I'll go to content and I'll choose alignment and set the image to center. And I'll do the same for the heading. I'll go ahead and set that to the center. This heading as well in content, I'll align it to the center. Again, these are all mobile specific settings, okay? And the text editor, alignment center, and the button, alignment center. And in style, the button I'll make it just a little bit smaller, change it to 16 pixels. Okay, great. So as you can see, mobile editing is it's easy and fun. And I'll go ahead and go back to the desktop mode, and I'll close the navigator. Cool. Let's just go for another round of questions, maybe with some questions over here. Shouldn't you save your work? Okay, good question. So the work is saved automatically also. You've got the history over here. Okay, so we've got all the things that we changed, the column padding, the section, everything we can go back and do that. You can also, if you want, you can also, let's just go get out of it. You can also choose save draft. Okay, every now and then you can just press save draft. Okay. That will work like that. And of course, now that we're done, what we're going to be doing is we can preview it, okay, and we can publish it. So we want to go live. I'll go ahead and press publish. And just before I carry on over there, let's see if there's another question. Okay, so I'll just carry on. Okay, so what we'll do now is we're going to we finished creating the page, so we hit publish, and we can preview the live page. So I go ahead and press preview, and let's check it out. So see the works automatically brings us to the second section with the special winter prices, the images with the price, with the sales price. We can inquire now, we can press that, and we'll make an automatic call on the phone if we press it as well. And on the bottom we have a nice contact us section with an image running in the background and some social icons. So visitors can contact you as well. I'll go ahead and go back over here. And what we can also do, as I showed before, we can save the draft, and we can also save as template. There was a question before, save as template, so we can reuse it and create a lot of pages on the fly. So I'll call this landing page, okay, and I'll just press save. And then here in my templates, we can preview it and simply create a new page and insert it. And so we don't have to work that hard. And what we can do with sections, we can do exactly the same. It will save you a lot of time. Save as template, and we'll just call this hero template, okay. And hit save. And it's automatically, it's in your My Templates, ready to preview and ready to insert in the page, ready to create your next landing page. So I'll go ahead and close this. And like I showed you before, you can use the Finder as well to save you a lot of time. So Control Command E, and you know, basically this is it's essentially a search bar that offers you easy navigation between different pages and the dashboard settings. So I can type here, I can say create, and then you can automatically create a new page. If I want to go and check out what I published now, the landing page, so I go to landing page, as you can see here, I can preview it. So it really helps you create new pages and preview existing ones on the fly. Okay, so now we're nearing the end of the webinar. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and there's so much more that you can learn. Elementor really is a powerful web design tool meant to help you grow your business and your career. And Elementor Pro provides you with even more tools to create highly converting landing pages and full-fledged websites, such as the form widget that I mentioned before, motion effects to help you bring your designs to life, pop-ups to keep your visitors engaged, a theme builder, and there's a lot more. Okay, well, that's it. Now you're ready to take your first steps with Elementor and create your own landing pages. I'd like you to join our Facebook group if you haven't already. There's a lot of helpful tips and tricks. Be part of our huge Elementor community full of like-minded people, all creating things on the web. Everybody's helping each other, becoming better at what they do. Of course, also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is full of interesting tutorials to help you master Elementor. And one last tip before I go. Also, on our website, you can check out the Help Center for easy access to our knowledge base. There's really a lot over there, FAQs, docs, and a lot more. And like I said before, we're going to be sending you a link with the materials needed to create this landing page, the images and the video. Feel free to rewatch the webinar and recreate the page. You can do it step by step. And I hope you enjoyed the webinar. I wish you good luck. And most of all, enjoy being creative. So thanks for tuning in. Ciao for now.